Okay, so 1 second. So welcome to my first official live. I was testing it out a bit before, but didn't really understand how it worked. So now I've got a bit of a plan. So this plan is going to be to do my makeup whilst I'm doing the live, and I'm going to talk you through what I use and why I use it. So this is my makeup bag, and it's a really great makeup bag because so inside it, I don't know if you can see, there's like 2 big sections and then there's like a zip in the middle. So like the zip is good for like lipsticks and things like that, but the actual like other big bits are really good for like the foundations and like the powders and things like that. So that's why I really like that bag. So first item, we're going to be using this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. It's a mini version. I did have the bigger version, but I lost it somewhere, and it's very expensive, but it is actually quite good. So I've only got this much left, so I use the tiniest little bit. He has just played football, so he'll be back any minute, well maybe 15 minutes, so that's why I'm doing this, because it's makeup, because we're going to the cinema, so he's getting ready to go to the cinema. So that's how it's working. But Charlotte Tilbury, like this. I like to do dots because then like my cheeks are the biggest areas, obviously my chin's quite small, and then my forehead's quite like not, it doesn't really need that much, so I focus it on my cheeks and make sure I try and get my nose area because that's where it tends to get quite dry. And then I rub it in. I try to be as gentle as possible because that's what you're meant to do with your skin. You're meant to be really gentle and light-handed. It's not necessarily always that easy. Always remember to do the eye, but I do find actually with this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream that it can get into your eyes, and if it gets into your eyes, like it makes your eyes sting and go all quite like watery. But yeah, just rub that in quite lightly, and then let me pop that back in the pouch. Where have I put that now? Oh, it's here. I like to keep it in its box just so then I don't forget. I also like these QR codes. If something has a QR code on, I keep it because I have an app on my phone called Yucca. It's not sponsored or anything like that. And basically it like scans products and it tells you how good it is for your skin, and it tells you like if there's any chemicals in or anything like that. And it tells you like whether it works and stuff. So next I'm going to go in with my NARS foundation. It's really old. You can literally see how old it is. I don't know what shade it is. Oh, it says there at the bottom, light 2. But I literally put the tiniest little bit on my finger like that because it's the Sheer Glow foundation. So it's like NARS's, like I think it was at the time when I got it, it was the lightest shade or the like lightest coverage. So I do exactly the same as I did with my moisturiser, and I literally just like tap it in like this. I try to go as light as possible, but it's literally just like, I try to avoid doing this side of my face because that tends to get quite like irritated and acne-ish if I like put too much product on. So I try to literally just focus it on like this front side of my face. Okay, so next thing we're going to move on to is concealer. I actually have two concealers. I have the NARS one, and thank you guys, and I have this one. And this one, obviously you can tell, is an awful lot lighter. So when I do a heavier makeup, which I never really do anymore, I used to do it a lot, don't do it that much anymore, but that's what I used to use. I think this is the Morphe one. I don't know what shade. I don't think it really says. It looks like that anyway. So I'm going to use this NARS one today, and I put a little bit under this one, and then I put a lot more on this eye. So if you ever see me doing that in my videos, it's because this eye for some reason has like more of like a under eye, and this one doesn't really. So like I try to balance it out by doing the less and then more on this one. And then I'll also put it underneath my nose because that gets really red, and then I'll sometimes put it on my chin, and then if I have any like spots or anything like that, I'll just dab it. But again, like I try to really avoid doing these areas of my face as much as possible, because if I am gonna go like all spots, that's like where it would be. So again, use my fingers. Most of my makeup I always use my hand. I try to go against brushes as much as possible, apart from powders, because you can't really like put powder on your face without, but I try to use my fingers as much as possible, because like I don't know whether I've just psyched myself into thinking this or what, but like I feel like there's more likely of germs being on brushes. So like in terms of my face and my skincare, I feel like with my hands, like I know like my hands aren't that dirty, where I feel like if a brush, like especially me as well, like I leave my brushes in there for like months and don't clean them. So like I feel like of using my hands as much as possible to put my makeup on seems to really help my skin as well. But I do just tap, because you don't want to wipe the makeup away, like you've put it there because you want it to act as a purpose. So by tapping instead of like smudging it, like I tend to find that that's a lot more like effective, if you like. So there's several steps that I could take now, but I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go. So what I do sometimes use is I have again the NARS, it's called liquid bronzer. I've literally had this bottle for maybe 4 years, and like it's still really heavy. Like the amount you use for the amount you got, like I got in here, was ridiculous. So I sometimes use this, but again I use this really if I'm doing like a heavier makeup, and I feel like tonight we're going to the cinema, so it's really like not, I don't want to go too heavy because it's just not really the vibe that I'm feeling today. So I think I might go on to my blush, and oh, if you're wobbling it's because you're on a tripod and it's like it's not very stable at all. It was like £2 from Amazon, so it was totally worth it. So I use these, got these, it was such a purchase, but they are actually quite good. So I use this one by Charlotte Tilbury, and like I'll literally, the thing that I'm trying to encourage into my makeup a bit more is I used to just like dot it where my actual cheeks are, I tended to find when I was younger, because I'm 21, so when I was like 16, 17, 18, it makes you look a lot older if you do that. But now I'm a bit older, like I find that if I put it a bit higher up on my face, like this, it like lifts your face up a lot more than if you put it like actually where your cheek is. Someone said it, I don't know who said it, about contour and bronzer, like just all level it up. So that's what I've been trying to do, and like I feel that even though I do level it up, I feel like I could still level it up another layer, like another level, once I've put it up. So again, only use my finger and literally tap it in, because I'm trying to level it up, I try and tap upwards, because that seems to be the most effective way to maintain it's about even. I also like to put it on my nose. So on my nose we go. Next step. Let's get a brush. I'm gonna use this. Just smudge it. Always tap. Again, we're gonna lift up. Just like so. And then these are really good because you can put them on over powders. That's like one of the best things about them. So you don't need much, again, just over the top. Just like that. And we're gonna do some dabbing. I always like to do that as well. And then we are gonna move on to my eyebrows. I always find it really weird, eyebrows, because if you've ever watched anybody, like a lot of people will cut their eyebrows out of like the makeup routine, and I always find that quite frustrating because I always want to know how people do their eyebrows. So start by brushing. I have blonde eyebrows, so it is always a challenge. And then I do the like bottom line with this pencil, just to add like a bit of shape, and then I brush them out like this to try and like brush the line into them a little bit. And then I have my actual like coloured, just to do the front, because I feel like the fronts need to be brightened up a little bit. And then the magic stuff is disappeared. No, I've got it. Is this bit 24-hour brow setter. Don't do that at home. And then I just super glue them up, just to add a little bit of something, because my eyebrows always just tend to like throughout the day. So this seems to really help them. Then we use the magic stuff. I really like this palette. It's L'Oreal. It wasn't expensive. I think it was maybe £5, I think. And I literally just go like this. Just like, and that gives a nice little shine underneath your eyebrow. And then nearly the last step. Wait, I've got these two. So I've got that one and this one. This one's more of like a pink, but it's more of like a darker pink, and this one is more of a red. So I'm going to use this today because I feel like I like this more at the minute. And it's like a tint basically. So I just put a little bit on. Again, using my finger. Smudge it round. And then like I leave it. So that's why I've done it now. I've left it. And then I'm going to move on to my mascara. Primer mascara. Actual mascara. So I find that if you prime your eyelashes, it tends to help them stay for longer once you've curled them. So I get my curler, give a squeeze, so it gives them like a bit of a lift. Onto the primer. I do only like doing my top eyelashes because I feel like if I put it on my bottom eyelashes, it just smudges and it just like goes underneath my eyes, and like it just never comes off. Like no matter how much I try, it will be on for the night until I take my makeup off. So that's why I only do my top, just because it doesn't smudge. I try to focus my mascara towards like the end, try and like draw it out, and I try to focus less of like the inner eyelashes. Whether it works or not, I don't know, because I always tend to find that it actually just ends up going into the middle bit. So okay, on to the final step. Lips. So pink, this is pink. So I use the red Benetton and I'm going to use the pink. It's actually number 7. It's like Boots, number 7. Just like that. That is such a good idea. That is a genius idea. I should have done that. Right. On to the final step. So I have 2 options for my final steps. I use this crayon or this, or sometimes a bit of both, yeah, just because. So this crayon is quite like a darker colour. So just like that. But then this red is more of like, I think it's from Essence. It was like in a Christmas thing. It actually says it's colour changing, and like when if you look at it, it's like quite a orangey red, but when you put it on, it goes quite like a darker red. I always like to do the corners as well. I feel like I always forget them. There we go. So I used to have a setting spray actually, but it ran out. So I no longer use a setting spray because I feel like it doesn't affect my makeup anyway, because like it just ends up rubbing off. If it rubs off, it rubs off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I don't think any setting spray I've really found has really helped that. But if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I'll give it a go. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you really soon in another vlog, because we're vlogging this weekend and we're gonna do like a bank holiday vlog, I think. So I'll see you in another video.